What's up, brothers and gals? It's your boy Shane, aka SkaterGamer, and we're here with a very brand new video. And today, technically tonight, I am going to be talking about things you should know before you start skating. And the reason why I'm making this video is because there are people in the community who basically wants to know what they should know before diving headfirst into something they don't know, which is completely understandable. So without further ado, I'm going to quickly ask you guys to like the video if you do end up enjoying it, and if it is helpful, and to subscribe to join the community and hit the notification bell so you know that when we are going to upload. And I never really ever say that at the beginning of the videos, but I do want the channel to grow, and the best way I can do that in some cases is just simply reminding you guys that's all it is a click of a button. So we're going to go straight into this. First, we're going to talk about how to go about things mentally. What I mean about that is different ways, but first we're going to talk about the intimidation factor of skateboarding. So, Jesus Christ, why is it hard to breathe right now? So the intimidation factor that comes from skating, I don't even mean like worried about falling and getting hurt. I'm talking about seeing how people sees you. So you go to the skate park and there's people skating and you're worried about them judging you and wondering if you're a poser and laughing at you for being a beginner. First of all, get that out of your head. 99 times out of 100, if it's an actual skater, they're not looking at you, they're not in that way, they're not judging you, they're actually inspired. Because when you see someone who first started skating, it's brand new to the scene, it's brand new to the whole world and reality of skateboarding, it's inspiring. It reminds you of your humble beginnings, because if you see someone that's doing something that looks really insane, it's because they worked for it and they put their hours into it and they put their days, weeks, and months into it, into learning that, and that's why they're able to do it in the first place. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't go to the skate park because you're worried about how someone is going to see you. And if you get there and people are shredding the park, go in there, find your place, and enjoy yourself, because there's no reason for you to not want to do it because you just feel like you can't do anything at all. And if you are brand new, and I mean brand new to skateboarding, as in you still haven't learned how to push, roll, freaking turn, kick turn, stop. If you need to learn those basic things, and even work on your ollies and maybe even shove it's before you even step foot in the skate park. Not because you shouldn't ever go, but it's simply because you might as well do things where you could do like an empty parking lot, an actual park with shelters and picnic tables with some smooth concrete, downtown sidewalk, a flat driveway, or if you don't have a flat driveway, maybe your friend's flat driveway. Find a way to learn to skate in those simple fundamentals, with those simple fundamentals, rather than taking it to the skate park when you can just do that at home, or somewhere that may be closer by. So just do those things that you have accessible to you, and then once you learn those simple things, then you go to the skate park, and then you can learn to do simple things like pivot on a ramp or something, and you can go further and further from there, because the skate park is a very good place to progress. It's a very good place to progress, but when you're first starting out, you need to learn those fundamentals first, because you can just learn that outside of a skate park. You don't need a skate park to learn those fundamentals. But anyways, if you are a brand new skater, I've seen time and time again where someone shows up at the skate park, I can tell they just haven't skated really ever, and then they leave. They get there, they sit down, they get on their phone, they leave. Sometimes they'll even skate outside of the skate park because they feel like they're not good enough to skate inside of the skate park. It's silly, just skate. Like, it's kind of sad when you see someone show up to the skate park, beginner or not, and they just leave because it's like, wow, I thought I had someone else to skate with, you know what I mean? So definitely don't feel intimidated by that, because like I said, 99% of the time, and the only reason I say 99% of the time is because there are some people that are just jerks in general. They don't have to be a skater to be a jerk. they could just be a jerk. So, but that's that 1%. So don't keep that from you skating. So, and for the 1%, going over the 1% of skaters that do that, don't worry about them, because they're 9 times out of 10 not even going to keep skating, because they don't do it for them. They probably do it because they think they look cool in front of their friends, or they're doing it because that's what their friends do, or they're trying to impress some girl, and skating doesn't really get you girls unless that girl happens to like skating, and you shouldn't be worried about that. You should just be enjoying skating. So besides that mess, just enjoy yourself, because I promise you, if you do run into that douchey type person, you'll keep skating, they won't, you'll surpass them. I've seen it before, it's happened, and I can go over a short story of something that truly did happen when I first started skating. So when I first started skating, about 2 weeks into it, I started going to the skate park, and then pretty quickly I saw a group of people who would skate, and there was this one guy, and he seemed alright. He knew 2 things. He knew ollie, and I think he was working on front 180s. I thought he was insane. And that reminds me, just thinking about that right now, I saw him ollie and I was like, whoa. I'm being honest when I say this. 2 months later, I am known as a skate park rat. You wouldn't even recognize me 2 months later, because I before couldn't even ride up and down a ramp. I busted my chin open the first time I even went to a skate park, and I got right back up and I kept skating with a bleeding chin. So genuinely, the funny thing is, this guy 2 months later didn't really recognize me. I get to the skate park, I try to do one frontside 180, because I did know these at this point 2 months into skating. Well, I was warming up. First trick I tried to do right off the bat on flat 180, messed it up. I landed 1 foot on, 1 foot off. He comes up to me, runs over to me. It's just me and him in the whole skate park. He goes up to me. You're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. First you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I'm not saying that someone that's trying to teach you something is that douchey guy. That's not true. A lot of times, I myself like to teach beginners new things, but I don't want to come off as a D word about it. I want to make sure this person wants to tip a lot of times before I give it, because I like being helpful. And a lot of times if you go to a skater that seems like he knows what he's doing, he will help you. He will give you tips. But the only thing about that is that this guy wasn't doing it out of good intentions. He was just trying to tell me that I wasn't ready to do this trick. So, and not in a good way. So then 4 months later, or 6 months, I'm into skating. I'm skating every day, almost. If it's raining outside, I'm still driving over 2 hours to a indoor warehouse skate park. If it's not raining and I'm not at work, I am driving over basically an hour just to get to the closest skate park to me. And that was because skateboarding saved me. It basically saved my life. I was living in a weekly motel room, almost homeless at one point. And when I found a weekly motel room, if I wasn't sleeping there and I wasn't getting off work too late, I was at the skate park. I was somewhere skating in the streets, something. So genuinely, 6 months into me skating, the reason why I had to bring up this whole rant about how much I was skating is because, keep in mind, I'm progressing pretty quick because of it. So 4 months later is 6 months into me skating. I hadn't seen this guy in 4 months, and I'm out there skating by myself as usual, and then he rolls up. I'm like, oh cool, it's this guy. So I'm busting open quite a few tricks. I'm not bragging about how much I can do, but I was doing a good amount compared to what I could do before, and I was doing tricks on the actual ramps, and he still only did ollie, frontside 180, and I think he could drop in. That's 3 things. And I'm not saying that you should know more than that in that amount of time, but this same guy that was acting douchey, from him knowing more than me, didn't keep going. I kept going, and I surpassed it. And then shortly after he got there, he said, oh, I had the flu, I hadn't really been skating much. He was coming up with all these excuses out of nowhere that I didn't even ask him about. And I said, dang, that's crazy, I've been out here like every day. And that's all I said. Well, soon after, he left. Didn't see the guy again for nearly like maybe 4 or 5 months later. He showed up, and then he was with some girl, and then he immediately left. So like, that guy that was acting that way surpassed him. And this is not to talk about my story like I'm a victim. No, that's not it. I'm just giving you a relatable story that you might run into with that type of person. So if you ever have someone that wants to try to fit in with this crowd just to fit in and not actually enjoy skating, they're not going to keep going. So don't even worry about it, because if you actually skate, you're not going to care if someone's a poser or not, because you don't have the energy to waste on that. And even so, if someone was to do those weird things where they push their board and they make marks and stuff and they brag about tricks, the second they go for one of those tricks, it's going to be kind of obvious if they even attempted it before. So, or done it before. So don't even stress the whole poser thing. It's a pointless subject, and I'm just throwing it in there so that way you don't even have to think twice about it. Next thing for mental is skateboarding teaches you a lot of things, and you can take that into your day-to-day life. So for starters, it teaches you to, and this is a big one, because this is going to keep you from not progressing in skateboarding as well, and it's going to keep you from stopping. So biggest thing you need to remember is to not compare yourselves to others. Skateboarding is a big slap in the face to that. The reason why is because you're going to show up to the skate park, you're going to see this guy who's been skating for 10 years, and he's going to be absolutely shredding. You're going to be skating for maybe 4 months, and you might know a few tricks. You're going to go, oh my god, I suck. Oh my god, I should have started sooner. Oh my god. But in reality to the whole thing, throw all that away. You compare yourself to yourself and only yourself, and that is how you progress in not just skateboarding, but life as well. Because you tell yourself, have I progressed since last week when you skate? You compare yourself skating to last week, and you will notice how far you've come. Because if you sit here comparing yourself to someone who's been doing it for a long time, it's not going to go very well. And just keep doing you, man. Don't worry about that person. They worked for it, you work for it, and you'll get there. And heck, you might be better in that amount of time. So you do you do it for your mental health, you do it because you enjoy it, you do it for whatever reason that you just enjoy skateboarding, however it resembles you. So just want to throw that out there. And there's a couple other things that it teaches you, I might as well throw in there. It teaches you like something basic as what's the classic thing? It teaches you to get up when you fall. It teaches you when you fall to get up. And that's such a cliche thing. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Because when you fall trying to do that trick and try to learn it, and you get to fall and fall and fall, it teaches you that you have to fall in order to succeed. You have to get up when you fall in order to succeed, or else you'll never learn that trick, or else you'll never be able to succeed in whatever you're trying to do in life. Skateboarding teaches you that. And when you try to learn a trick, instead of doing it over and over and over, which I tend to do a lot, but if you do this over and over and over, and you don't take a step back and to see what you did wrong, you're never going to fix it. And a lot of times you won't. So envision yourself doing a trick, and you may just do it. And that happens in real life too. Take a step back, look at what you did wrong this day, and fix it. Skateboarding can come into your actual life, like outside of skateboarding. It's a beautiful thing. It'll even make you a lot more sociable. I am a very unsocial person, or what's it called? Not social. I'm more towards myself. I keep to myself. And skateboarding makes me social because you meet someone that skates and you connect. They know someone that skates and you connect with them, and then it's just an endless cycle of you meeting different people that skates because their friend that you know skates. So it's a fun thing. Definitely recommend getting into it. And last thing I really want to go over is what shoes to wear. Someone's asking me what to wear, what boards to get. Let me double check this is recording. I don't want to mess anything up. I think I can wrap this up pretty quickly. So, because I don't want to not to bore y'all per se, but I don't want to drag out the video. So, first things off is the deck. So let me grab a deck real quick that's sitting down there. All right. So this isn't my current setup. This is my last setup. This board is an 8125. So you're probably wondering, Shane, what deck size do I get? So back in the day, I don't know, over a decade ago, skaters thought a 775 was a decent sized deck. It was a decent size. Nowadays, 775 is considered small. So skateboarding is completely your preference on what you want to wear and what you want to skate. But I am going to tell you what you can do to keep yourself from hindering your progression. So as far as a skate deck, it's 100% preference. But I do recommend starting off with an 8125 or an 8. And if you feel like going up in size, go up by one notch. You get an 8, I want to go up 8125. Go up again, 825. It's all about experimenting. Even if you want to go down to a 775, maybe try that out. I think that's very small. That was my first setup, but to each of their own. The current setup that I actually skate is an 838. It's too big for me. I saw it in a skate shop. I wanted it because it was a Jamie Foy deck and I couldn't resist. And I always skated shallow. I always skated shallow tails and shallow nose because it has a faster pop. So you jump a little quicker, it has more reaction time on the pop, and there's a few other reasons. But I never really just skated a steep deck before. So Jamie Foy shape, steep deck. So steep concave means that the board goes like that. So it's like you have to jump like half a second later, and for me personally, and then there's other things that come into play with that too. But my personal opinion, get a size 8 deck, shallow, concave, if that's what you think you would like, 8 or 8125. Now, as far as the other parts on your board that you think you might want to get, this is up to you. If you don't have the money for it, get a complete. Go to a skate shop, go online to a website like CCS, wherever, and buy yourself a complete that ranges from anywhere from $50 to $75, and just get in that, look into the board company, look into the deck, look at reviews on it, yada yada yada. Because if you just want to get a complete at the beginning, since you're not going to be doing too much, you can then take your trucks off, put some new ones on, and upgrade your stuff over time. You can do that as well. However, if you do have the money, I can go over parts that I do like or what you might want to get over time. That was very weird. Okay, so parts that you can get over time. If you're wondering why I'm talking quiet, I am in my apartment. I feel like my neighbors can hear me. I do apologize. I get excited when I talk about skating, but I need to lower my tone. So anyways, parts that you can get for your skateboard that I'd recommend, that I enjoy. Ace trucks. Aces are my favorite trucks there are. I've skated Aces all 4 setups so far, and my current one is Aces. I am going to try Crux on my next setup whenever I do make that one. But however, Aces, definitely recommend them. They're very good. Spitfire wheels. Maybe not specifically these ones, but Formula 4s are my favorite. My favorite bearings are Bronson bearings, Raws, because they're like the little one with the little metal balls in it, and they kick out dirt as you skate. It's pretty neat, so you don't have to clean them as much. And hardware, I like to get shorties just because you can match your colored bolts, your nuts and bolts and stuff, which is pretty cool. And that's mostly it. I have Grizzly grip tape on this one. I've had Grizzly grip tape on 2 of my 4 setups. It's pretty decent. One of my setups was primitive grip tape, which was a cutout primitive. 2 was Grizzly, and then the last one was like a custom grip tape that I made on CCS, just because it was an anime that I liked. And just, you don't have to go all in at first. You can get it complete if that's what you prefer to do, like I said, but if you do have the money for it, Spitfire wheels, Bronson bearings are good, Ace trucks are good, and you can get a grip tape that come with your deck if that's what you choose. Just look around, review it before you get it, and only other thing that I'm gonna go over for the rest of the video is the things that you do that'll hinder your, oh wait, god dang it, clothes. I'm sorry. People were asking me about what shoes to wear. So first off, I'm just gonna say my favorite shoes I've ever skated are Fallens. I love them. The Chris Cole Trooper purple colorway. Chris Cole's, that's my favorite pair of shoes ever. I'm going to get my second pair of them because my right shoe is completely like torn at this point. And yeah, so, but as far as what skate shoe you should get, that was just my favorite shoe. Just get some skate shoes. Do not go to Walmart or Target or wherever grocery store that you find and get just the cheapest pair of shoes that you can find. Now, if it's a skate shoe, it is fine. And the reason why I say skate shoe is because skate shoes are more durable. If you go to Walmart and just get a random cheap pair of shoes, and I just mean any cheap pair of shoes, they'll rip. They will be torn in one session, and then you will have to go and get another. Don't do that. Just get yourself, it doesn't have to be an expensive pair of skate shoes either. It just needs to be skate shoes. And I mean that to keep yourself from having to spend more money on more shoes when you can just spend it on skate shoes once and you should be good for a while. You can get things like shoe goo, extra laces, whatever. Just get yourself skate shoes. Pants that you can wear. Now, as far as pants goes, I'm not one of those that says, oh, you can't wear shorts, or you can't wear this. Wear what you want to wear, okay? Wear what you want to wear. However, I do recommend getting something that is baggy or stretchy. So these sweatpants are Reeboks and they stretch. So I can lift my knees to my chest, which you're kind of required to do on some tricks to keep your feet in the air longer, for your board to flip underneath your feet, or just to do ollies on gaps. Everything that you can go on and on and on about things that are required for your knees to bend, your legs to bend. So I definitely recommend getting baggy pants. Now, you can get cargo pants, you can get regular jeans if you wanted to from freaking Walmart, as long as they're baggy. And I mean, I don't even have big jeans. There's only like that gray pants, but they're like really flimsy. Those gray, I don't think they're really considered jeans at that point, but there are Wranglers. Those are fine. Like get yourself, it doesn't have to be skate pants, just baggy pants or baggy cargo shorts or something. You can use, I've seen people use shoelaces to keep it up, keep their pants up. You can do that. I've never had to do that, but you can do that. And besides that, last but not least, I'm keeping this video from being dragged out. Last but not least, the actual things that you can do to keep yourself into skating and to keep yourself from not progressing. So to keep yourself from not progressing, when you first start learning to skate, when you push on your board, I want you to think about what foot do you put on first on the floor if it was ice. Would you put your right foot first, or would you put your left foot first? Now, if you're thinking, oh, if I was to step on ice, I put my right foot first. That is going to be at the front of your board. So if your right foot, this is my right hand, right foot, you're going to push with your left foot in the back of the board. Now, a lot of people, when they first start skating, what they do is they have their left foot on the back, but then they push with their front foot because they think it's more comfortable, and that is called Mongo pushing. If that was not a good enough description, I'm sorry, my phone is really low on storage. Just look up what Mongo pushing is and don't do it. And I said earlier, there's no rules in skateboarding, and if you want to do it this way and you want it to go against the grain, fine, by all means, whatever. But I do 1000% not recommend it for many reasons. Not just because it looks silly, because it does, but because it'll hinder your progression. It takes longer to set up a trick. It's harder to turn. It's harder to accelerate. And hell, it's even harder to stop. So all your fundamentals to skate are gone. Now, you can make Mongo skating look cool even in Switch, in my opinion, but even then, overall, it's rare for it to look that good. And not only that, but it's still way easier to progress without Mongo pushing. Just learn to push with your normal foot in the front, and the front foot stays on, back foot pushes. Your left foot's on the front part of the board, your right foot pushes in the back. Like, just do that. It's simple. And you don't even have to follow, and the other thing I want to say is you don't have to follow the typical, this typical trick list that I know is good for like progression in a way, because it's more of like beginner to work your way up. You know, the typical ollie, frontside 180, backside 180, pop shove it, yada yada yada. Okay, so before my phone rudely cut me off because of it running out of storage, last thing I wanted to talk about, the very last thing I wanted to talk about was you don't have to follow the typical, there's two ways people usually goes. I want to learn kickflip, I want to learn tray flip, and then there's the typical ollie, frontside 180, backside 180, pop shove it, yada yada yada. And the second one is definitely a better idea. However, scratch both of that, because in my opinion, what resonated to me was learn at your pace and what you want to do next, and push yourself to do it. Whatever inspires you to get on that board and to what to learn next is what you should push for. It's literally like an artist. If you tell me what to paint, I'm not going to want to do it, and I'm not going to be good at it a lot of times. But if I just randomly feel like I want to paint this, I'll do really well at it. So it's literally art. Think about it that way. So obviously your ollie is going to be your first thing that you want to learn. Then whatever intrigues you next is what you should push for. So my first three tricks are random. I first learned the ollie, then I learned a fakie frontside pop shove it, and then I learned a rock to fakie. 3 random tricks, but that's what I learned in that order because that's what interested me. So whatever interests you next, you dive deep and you push to learn that trick. So that's how I've been learning. That's how I recommend to learn how to progress quickly. But if you want to follow that ollie, frontside 180, backside 180, pop shove it, front shove it, what was it? Was it heel flip and kick flip? That typical thing that goes around on YouTube. You don't have to do that, but it is better than just going straight for a kick flip or tray flip, because if you finally learn that one trick, which is definitely more advanced, you will have that one trick, but that other skater will have 10 tricks, if that makes sense. And you might even learn that trick that that person was working on for a longer time in a shorter span, because you done got more comfortable on your board and how to land back on it while it's flipping into control and the timing of it and everything. So, and it might look more clean off the bat because your ollies done got better by then, and simply put, they'll float more. So definitely recommend going at your pace and what you enjoy learning. It's all about what you enjoy learning. And yep, that almost wraps it up. If you, I want to say this real quick, if you're struggling on learning a trick and you're a brand new beginner, I know there's like those popcorn things that people do, like they put their feet underneath both sides of the board and then like they flip it over and then they land on it. Do random stuff, cavemans, finger flip cavemans. Do something that day at the end of your session if you didn't learn your trick, just to make yourself not just feel better about that day, but just because you learned something. It's not like an official trick, but at least you learned something, and it's going to make your brain want to learn even more. It's going to make you feel like you accomplished something. So I love you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do hit that like button, and if it was helpful as well, comment what you want to see more of, and comment your thoughts on the video. Share the video with your friends. Subscribe to the ImSkaterGamer community. And as always, keep skating, keep gaming. See you guys in the next video. Peace.